We live in a bewildering time, where the boundaries between what's real and what's artificial seem to blur more each day. Surrounded by a constant stream of information from glowing screens, we're always connected, yet often feel more isolated than ever before. Every day, news and opinions bombard us from every direction, making it harder to pause and ask, what is real and what is simply noise? AI can create fake images and mimic voices with uncanny accuracy, making it nearly impossible to trust what we see or hear online. Social media tailors our feeds, reinforcing our beliefs and making it harder to separate fact from fiction. The more we scroll, the more we're shown what we already agree with. The digital fog leaves us feeling unmoored, searching for clarity in a sea of noise and endless notifications, as if we're wandering through a maze with no clear exit. We crave simple stories to make sense of overwhelming complexity. Global events, politics, pandemics. Our minds seek patterns, even when reality is messy. The very tools meant to connect us have built invisible walls, echo chambers that amplify our views and keep us apart from those who think differently. Algorithms feed us what keeps us engaged, often anger or fear, fracturing our shared sense of reality and making it harder to find common ground. Traditional gatekeepers like scientists and journalists are no longer universally trusted. Their authority is questioned, their motives doubted. Online voices claim hidden truths, eroding trust and leaving us to choose our own reality from a chorus of competing narratives. The most compelling story often wins, not because it's true, but because it offers a simple explanation for chaos, a comforting anchor in turbulent times. In this fractured landscape, we're left adrift, clinging to whatever narrative feels safest, even if it's only a lifeboat made of paper. The challenge is not just finding information, but knowing who and what to believe. We must learn to question, to pause, and to seek understanding. In the end, the simplest story often prevails, regardless of its truth, reminding us that in a fractured reality, clarity is both rare and precious. Our brains are wired for survival, shaped by millions of years of evolution to help us navigate a world full of uncertainty and danger. We're built to spot patterns and connect the dots, constantly searching for meaning in the chaos around us. This skill helped our ancestors avoid danger and find food, making quick decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. But this powerful instinct comes with a flaw. We see patterns even where none exist. This tendency is called patternicity. We find faces in clouds, hear messages in random noise, and imagine connections in the most unlikely places. Sometimes, we even connect unrelated events, weaving them into stories that feel true simply because they fit a pattern. Conspiracy theories tap into this ancient instinct, offering simple, compelling patterns to explain complex and confusing events. A pandemic becomes a plot, a random tragedy is recast as a deliberate act, and uncertainty is replaced by a story with clear villains. An accident becomes an assassination, stories with motives, heroes, and enemies all neatly arranged. These narratives satisfy our brain's hunger for order and certainty, even if the order is dark or sinister. Facts alone rarely dismantle a conspiracy. Once a pattern is formed in our minds, contradictory data feels like an attack on our sense of reality. New information is dismissed as part of the cover-up, reinforcing the original belief and making the story even harder to shake. The story becomes more important than the facts, because it gives us a sense of control and understanding. Our brains protect these patterns fiercely, because, for millennia, finding them meant survival and safety for ourselves and our communities. This is why conspiracy theories are so resilient. They feel right, even when they're wrong, and they're hard to let go of. We're not just seeking truth, we're seeking meaning, comfort, and a sense of safety in the patterns we perceive. The urge to connect the dots is both our greatest strength and our greatest vulnerability, a double-edged sword that shapes the stories we tell ourselves and the world. In 1969, humanity set foot on the moon, a triumph watched by millions. Yet, almost immediately, some claimed it was a hoax staged by the US government. Believers pointed to supposed anomalies, no stars in photos, a waving flag, radiation dangers. Science explains these camera settings, flag construction, and brief radiation exposure. Still, the conspiracy endures because it's a simpler, more dramatic story than the reality of space travel. Physical proof, moon rocks, laser reflectors. can't compete with the allure of a grand deception. The story of a cover-up is easier to grasp than the complexities of astrophysics. Sometimes, a compelling narrative outweighs a mountain of evidence. The Earth is warming, an overwhelming scientific consensus backed by decades of data. Yet many reject this, believing climate change is a hoax or a political scheme. These conspiracy theories simplify a complex issue into stories of greed and control. Denial is often rooted in ideology, not data. Accepting climate change threatens certain worldviews and lifestyles. The conspiracy narrative offers an escape. If it's all a hoax, no change is needed. Facing climate reality is uncomfortable and abstract, while blaming a secret cabal is easier. The story protects a worldview and avoids difficult choices. It turns a global challenge into a human drama with clear villains. The comfort of conspiracy is replacing the impersonal truth of physics with a familiar story of deception. In the end, it's not about evidence, it's about protecting identity and avoiding fear. The real challenge is accepting uncomfortable truths over comforting fictions. Despite satellite images and global travel, some still believe the Earth is flat. The flat Earth theory isn't just about science, it's about identity and belonging. Believers see themselves as enlightened, privy to secret knowledge the rest of the world ignores. Scientific evidence, ships over the horizon, lunar eclipses, is dismissed as part of the deception. What truly fuels the movement is community, a sense of rebellion and shared purpose. Online groups and conventions reinforce these beliefs, offering validation and camaraderie. To leave the belief is to risk losing one's identity and social circle. Flat Earth is less about cosmology, more about sociology, a story people choose to live inside together. The theory offers belonging in a world where many feel alienated. It's not just a belief, it's a community. Why do we gravitate toward conspiracies? Because they offer comfort. Someone, somewhere, is in control. A conspiracy, no matter how dark, is less frightening than random chaos. Plane crashes, financial crises, these become plots, not accidents. This narrative gives us villains to blame and a sense of agency. If we can expose the plot, we can fix the problem. Far more empowering than accepting randomness. Believing in a conspiracy is a coping mechanism, imposing order on disorder. The story feels safer than the formless, chaotic truth. It provides structure, clear characters, and a plot. The universe becomes a human drama, not a cold, indifferent place. The belief isn't about evidence, it's about emotional security. Conspiracies offer shelter from a reality that's often too complex and frightening. In the end, the story feels safer than the truth. Information was once broadcast to everyone, creating a shared foundation of facts. Now social media algorithms personalize our feeds, learning our every click and preference. The goal isn't to inform, but to keep us engaged, often by showing us what we already believe. This creates echo chambers, reinforcing our views and isolating us from dissent. Show interest in a conspiracy, and the algorithm floods you with related content. Soon, your feed is dominated by one perspective, making it feel universal and true. Dissenting opinions are filtered out, and the echo chamber becomes self-sealing. Attempts to seek outside information are dismissed as disinformation. The algorithm, in pursuit of engagement, becomes a powerful architect of belief. Social media doesn't just spread conspiracies, it entrenches them. Escaping the bubble becomes nearly impossible. Life is unpredictable, and our lack of control breeds anxiety. We crave agency, a sense that we can shape our destiny. Conspiracy theories offer the illusion of control, secret knowledge that makes us feel powerful. Believers become detectives, piecing together clues and exposing hidden plots. This active role transforms anxiety into purpose and action. Instead of facing complex problems, it's easier to blame a secret group of villains. The illusion of control shields us from feeling powerless in a vast, indifferent world. If someone is in control, the world is at least understandable. The problem shifts from chaos to a specific enemy. Conspiracies restore a sense of power, even if it's only an illusion. The story gives us a target for our frustrations and a mission to pursue. At the core, belief in conspiracies is about the search for meaning. It's a deeply human impulse, a desire to make sense of the chaos that surrounds us, to find patterns where there may be only randomness. We are storytelling animals, connecting the stars into myths, and our lives into narratives. Our minds are wired to seek connections, to weave together the fragments of our experiences into stories that help us understand the world. Conspiracy theories provide order and purpose in a chaotic world. They offer a sense of structure, a way to organize the unknown into something that feels manageable. They offer simple explanations for suffering and injustice, a clear moral landscape. In a world full of uncertainty, they promise clarity, dividing the world into heroes and villains. Like ancient myths, they give believers a framework, a community, and a sense of purpose. They bring people together, united by a shared story and a common cause. The need for meaning is not wrong, but the stories we choose matter. The narratives we embrace shape our actions, our relationships, and our understanding of reality. A good story can feel true, but feeling isn't proof. Emotional resonance is powerful, but it's not a substitute for evidence. The universe, as revealed by science, is more wondrous and complex than any conspiracy. Its mysteries are deeper, its beauty more profound than any fiction we could invent. Truth matters. It's the foundation for progress and safety. Without it, we risk building our lives on sand, vulnerable to collapse. The real world is complicated, its truths provisional and evolving. Understanding it requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to question our own assumptions. Embracing complexity with humility is its own form of meaning. It's an act of courage to accept uncertainty and keep searching. The search for evidence-based truth is our noblest quest. It's a journey that asks us to be both skeptical and open-minded. It's a journey we share, seeking to understand our universe and ourselves. Together, step by step, beyond the rabbit hole.